춤에. 야, 손야센. Adoro 50 cent você.
Entering the wall for the first time.
Be careful. Incredible.
She's talking to some people to get it figured out. Nuni came to Beijing to eat KFC. There were people doing it in front of the police station as well.
Today is my birthday. I came to China exactly made the independence.
The Forbidden City, just a couple hours after our arrival in Beijing. We met a guide by the name of John Liu in front of the Forbidden City that day, who let us know this is also known as the Imperial Palace. And we didn't take John up on his offer to help guide us through the palace that day. We were exhausted. But we did connect with John a couple days later, and he helped us tour the Great Wall and the Summer Palace. More about him later. This is really our first look at any site in China during this visit. This familiar scene of the portrait of Mao hung in the center of this front wall of the Forbidden City. Makes most Westerners, including us, think we're in Tiananmen Square. Not true. The square is across the street. This is the Forbidden City itself. Here we're in the first internal courtyard of the Forbidden City. It gave us a taste for how big an endeavor this was going to be to tour the city, and also for how tired we were after our overnight plane ride, just having arrived in Beijing a couple hours earlier. So we quickly backed off and decided to come back another day.
So many people.
This is a park just on the east side of the Forbidden City, where we entered the second day we came to the city. Let's speed this up a little bit, just in the interest of making progress in the film. The same display is repeated over and over again.
This morning I read about the little paragraph from the Forbidden City. On the east side, for the king and for the emperor and all the people who work with to discuss about the matter of the country. Yeah.
Okay.
On the west side, so his wife, his kid, his mother, his how many wives he have to live in west side.
Oh, that's where the living how the living quarters were divided over there.
Over there.
Which king?
Or two king, not two king, 24 kings.
All emperors?
All emperors.
They all
Provide
stuck to that same division of quarters. Wow. Couple final still shots in that park on the east side of the city. This plaque is a really helpful introduction to the palace ground. The last two Chinese dynasties covering the final 500 years of dynastic rule in China had its rulers living in the imperial city. And there's a kind of a physical division between outer court and inner court in the city. The outer court is what you first encounter when you come into the walls of the city, and that's where the grand ceremonies of the emperors were held, more public ceremonies. As you walk further into the city, you eventually come to the inner court. That's where residences of the royal family as well as the high-level administrators can be found. Now, the east side of the inner court was for residences of administrators and administrative buildings. The west side is where you'd find the residence of the emperor himself, his empress, concubines, children. So that's more residential in terms of immediate family. And of course, concubines. And who wouldn't include a concubine among immediate family? This is the inside of the Forbidden City after just entering it. So this is kind of like the main court of the Forbidden City. We're not in the exact middle of it, but pretty close. So see the incline in the middle and the two stairways on either side. Alright, and notice nobody's walking up the incline. That's where the emperor himself was the only person allowed to walk up that way. Everybody else had to walk, his ministers or whoever visited him had to walk on the side. So here's a closer look at those steps, the emperor's middle way steps. Dragon being the symbol of the emperor, right? So he didn't exactly walk on the dragons, he walked on the steps.
The step also have dragon and this and that.
And the steps themselves have the symbol. Or something, because remember this was built in about 1420, completed in what, 1424 and commissioned in 1406.
1406.
So it's about 600. This is the second section of the outer court as we make our way from south to north within the complex.
They build both sides almost the similar style. Both sides the same.
They try to make it symmetrical, don't they? This is known as the outer. This is the outer court. We'll see the inner court later. The outer court. And notice again on the steps up to the palace at the back of the outer court. I don't know if that's a palace or a hall. We'll get to that later. But notice two sets of steps on the sides, and the center is where only the emperor would be able to ascend. This is the final northernmost section of the outer court, facing east right now, bringing the camera around to face north. Now that's the northernmost wall. When we get beyond that northern wall, we'll be in the inner court. Now we're inside the inner court. This building's in the center of the inner court. You can see a hall on the far side. And this is the hall we saw. This is the back side of the hall that we saw from the outer court. Here are just a couple views into the throne rooms, the reception rooms of these halls that you're seeing in the inner court. Here's what a peek inside is like. Still in the inner court. Over on the far east side of the inner court, just looking over the rooftops from the inner court of the buildings below, which were residences. I think on this side was the residence for visitors and such, whereas on the other side, the buildings will look the same. On the west side, you would probably see, or it would probably for more like family members. Maybe more like that.
In that moment, Qing lady dress up that way.
Yeah?
Qing lady.
Qing lady?
Yeah, dress up that way.
So that's Qing Dynasty stuff. Looking north now into the second section of the inner court. From here, if you count carefully, you'll see 4 sets of rooftops to the north, all further sections of the inner court. So down now on the living level of the west side of the inner court, this is where the concubines would have been kept. Outside the Forbidden City now, looking back at the northernmost exterior wall. Across the street here, beautiful little building up on the hill. We're not sure what that was. Let's backtrack a day now to September 24th, the day we decided not to tour the Forbidden City. But we did discover this gorgeous park on the west side of the city.
Don't shoot me. I don't want you to shoot me.
I can always edit it out.
No.
I will not include you in anything without your permission.
Oh my God. I will speak Chinese with you all the time. You know?
I noticed that.
My tongue just go back to Chinese now. I just cannot like come English and come over Chinese. I can't.
Hey, believe me, that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, come on, show you. Yeah, Sun Yat-sen.
Ah.
This is Sun Yat-sen. Yeah, 中山路。在里面。哦，谢谢。
All this is in here, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, this is a great place.
Okay. Get ready to go through. Only thing I can beat them up by make me feel good. See? Lucky I can speak the language.
No
Bit,
kidding.
huh?
Oh, for sure.
Otherwise, you just buy the full price, right?
Well, not only that, but it's just so convenient in many ways.
Tour won't take you here. Wow, pretty big though, yeah. Inside pretty big, and not just the end of that. And they have more in there. $1.50 was that? Hey, take a picture. Don't shoot a movie. Can you take a picture?
Yes.
Do you want me to take a picture for you? People, hundreds of people.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, pretty, isn't it?
God.
Very pretty. Like how it means every year if you have a full of progression, good eating, that kind of thing.
Oh, really?
That to the Chinese very new in terms of the Chinese.
Chinese always thinking about eating.
Yeah.
What's on top?
Peach,
And then
pomegranate, right?
pomegranate.
Pomegranate, and apple, and persimmon.
Here we are at the center of the park, looking through the peace-defending arch toward the statue of Sun Yat-sen. Didn't realize what an important figure he was in the Chinese political landscape. Here in the park, we began to notice what we saw executed throughout the city in Beijing. There was some special preparation being done, really dolling up the city for something that we didn't quite understand, at least at the time we shot this, but we come to understand later what a special time of year this was, and what a special year it was.
你拔这个吧，它那个好拔，它那退下来，你得帮着弄这个，拔这个，它这个一磕就下来那个，弄这个它这个慢，这个慢，所以说你就得弄这个。
So 1914 marked the end of imperial rule in China and the founding of the Republic of China due to the revolutionary efforts of Sun Yat-sen.
Yeah, that's about 100 years now. I think next November, maybe it's his over about 100 years ago. You know, they have a big ceremony here maybe. That's what people making flower, everything.
Can you explain?
This handwriting, right by Deng Xiaoping in 1986, November. And he said, Sun Yat-sen is the greatest, never die in Chinese human still alive. And he is the guy who turned over the last emperor dynasty. So he's a great one, and he's a father of Chinese, all the Chinese people. Shall we stop here and we going out?
Okay.
Or you want to walk more?
This is a typical Chinese design for gardens and gates and fences. A design that just gets repeated over and over and over again in the same structure. Sometimes it's vertical, and sometimes, like here, it's horizontal. This huge simulated basket of flowers in the middle of Tiananmen Square, September 25th. It's not an everyday occurrence, especially erected for the 65th anniversary of the success of the revolution of Mao and Zhou Enlai. 1949, coincidentally, Nuni's birth year, and in fact on Nuni's birthday, October 1st. This huge building on the west side of Tiananmen Square is the Great Hall of the People. This is the monument of the people's heroes, war hero monument. And on the south side here, that's the memorial to Chairman Mao. To the east of the square, behind us, is the National Museum of China. We'll have a shot of that coming up in a few seconds. Standing on Tiananmen Square now, shooting east across the street, that's the National Museum of China.
We're able to take this shot right now because, courtesy of the Chinese government, we're standing in another security line to make the good citizens of China feel safe. Here we are standing on Tiananmen Square.
Do you want them to do a new picture and pay them take it? They know how to take it.
It's up to you. So that's the Forbidden City on the north side of Tiananmen Square. The familiar picture of Mao.
一共是要两张嘛。
给我5块钱，谢谢。
What'd you do?
They have to throw it away, right? As two of them, I give you 5 more. Otherwise, forget it.
At first he didn't like that deal, right?
He said he never gonna take picture for our appearance. I said I didn't tell you. Just shoot 4. I thought the shoot 4 let me shoot it, so now I shoot what I want.
So
The power is very just like that. At least about that big.
oh, bigger than that.
Really?
Let's get close and you'll see.
Some final stills from Tiananmen Square. We then crossed over, actually under the street on the north side of the square to the Forbidden City and conducted our own tour, clips of which you've seen earlier in this video.
Here's the approach to our hotel.
The Inner Mongolian Grand Hotel Wanfujing in Beijing. Wanfujing just being the section of town, so as not to confuse this with another Inner Mongolian Grand Hotel that exists within Beijing.
Oh, we wanted you.
对不起，这个也是。
Look at that. That is a tired nature hug.
So, where we can eat?
Oh yeah, there is that.
What's the better view?
You have to put your name here.
I do not want to desecrate this place by putting graffiti on the wall. Entering the wall for the first time.
Be careful. See, you know why they do this for purpose? For see the enemy come, they have some boom, boom, boom going down like that.
Oh yeah.
No? See both sides. Oh my God.
Holy Jesus.
You see that?
Don't make a mistake here.
No. All the way. People will leave the name here. You want to leave your name here?
No, I just don't think. You know, no right or wrong really, but I can't see doing that.
Okay. Good.
You're not curious of what is up these steps?
You want to go up? Go up. I go up. I'm waiting you there. I'm not go up there. incredible. Stay down.
Take a picture of me taking a picture of you.
It wasn't that bad, no?
No.
Going down, no? Going up, we're going to have our time.
We'll see.
Wow, just built it.
China2014 Pass, built in 1404, the second year of the Ming Emperor Yanggu's rule. So the same guy that built the Forbidden City.
Yeah, same guy to build it, this one.
40 meters long, 30 meters wide, and 20 meters high. 20 meters high.
You see your dad going down from the China wall. The rock they bring it in is more bigger. Yeah. The old rock is a little smaller.
That makes sense. I mean, how do you transport huge rocks, right? So, as times grew better and they had ways of transporting bigger rocks, they would use them. But in the old days, like, maybe no. That's where we was, right up there at the top of the hill in that tower.
The whole morning. When is the summertime, good time to. I'm gonna let if we have a chance to come to see.
He'll do it on his own if we don't do it.
You think so?
Sure he will.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he will.
I'm gonna pay him ticket to get here. See that up there they have one too, Bill. See that? Did you go all the way to the mountain? I don't think so.
Yes, that's where I went.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
Bill?
The building up on the top of the hill.
Uh-huh.
The Summer Palace was built in the 12th century and had been destroyed and rebuilt a few times since then. The last rebuild was in the late 19th century by the infamous Empress Dowager Su Chi. She made it her summer home. Walking with Nuni here, this gentleman in the blue shirt, that's John Liu. He was our guide to the Great Wall and then drove us over to the Summer Palace. And you see people moving briskly because a torrential rain was about to come down. A few raindrops on the ground at this point, but it got to be quite more than a drizzle after a few minutes.
This is the Lama Temple, kind of due north of our hotel in Beijing. This is just the very back part of the temple. There are about 4 buildings, just like this one here, except that the other 3 don't have the second level. They were all built in the late 1600s and then converted into Buddhist, what they call Lama series, after a Lama version of Buddhism in the 1700s. These incense stations are in front of every single one of the buildings. A lot of burning going on here. The people actually enter into those doors. Notice the 3 openings. In front of each of the 3 openings is a Buddhist statue, and each of those Buddhist statues have meanings, and they're all different within each building and from building to building. Within walking distance of the Buddhist temple was this vegetarian restaurant with a grand buffet, dozens of dishes. They wouldn't let us take any photos of the buffet itself, but we surreptitiously took these photos at our table. The thing about Beijing, it's very clean. The streets are clean. No garbage, a lot of waste cans, and a lot of military. Nuni is finding out what's going on here. On every corner here in this busy city section, there's workers setting up, building something to celebrate. We don't know what they're celebrating. But you know Nuni. She's talking to some people to get it figured out.
What she learned was this was set up to mark the October 1st, 2014 65th anniversary of the success of the revolution by Mao and Zhou.
There's the corner across the street.
We really like the park, you know. I like park, sincerely, it's so nice.
Yeah, just nice.
Huh? All the tree here is 1,000 years, before 500 for a tree.
This is the park of the Temple of Heaven. We're walking towards the temple where, at the north end of the park, and at that temple is where they prayed for good crops. That's what pretty much this whole area, this Temple of Heaven area, is dedicated to. It is a place where the emperors set up a special area for an annual or maybe semi-annual praying for bumper crops. Kind of important if you have a couple million people to rule back in those days and no food to help pacify them.
Lady that's the Korean style.
Korean style?
Yeah, that's the Chinese style. That's Korean style. You know the little duet with the high. That's Korean style.
From the pavilion, this raised circular ground floor that served as the base of the temple.
The main temple of the Temple of Heaven. Temple of Heaven, main temple.
Why they call temple in heaven? Because they don't have mountains inside. They call temple. It doesn't make sense. I don't want to talk about that.
You look like a what?
I look like a sissy girl. You know what I'm talking about?
Really?
Because I raised up with a girl, but my hand wasn't cannot make that soft, you know. So I look like a homosexual. Hopefully, I don't know where the picture is. It's there, I wish I could show you. I shoot that long. I shoot about 18, 20. We less up that kind of thing, but better than that kind of hair, really tall.
This is one of 3 pair of bride and groom that we saw having their wedding photos taken at the Temple of Heaven. The Rose Garden at the Temple of Heaven. Just as we saw at the Forbidden City, you notice 3 sets of stairs. At far left, far right, and middle here. And the middle was meant, probably, for the king to ascend, and no one else. Everyone else up on the left or right.
Beijing South train station. We're waiting for the G train to Shanghai. It'll take less than 5 hours to get there. It's odd, some G trains take as long as 5 hours and 40 minutes. A lot of them around 5:20, 5:30. Ours is going in 4:50 according to the schedule. I don't quite get that. Maybe there are different stops for different trains.
I want to eat KFC. Water? Water?
Nuni came to Beijing to eat KFC. This is part of that strip that runs along the river, on the west side of the river. Right across there down that street, that's Nanjing Road. Very main road for shopping. We haven't spent much time there yet. We just got up from the subway. Nuni ate at McDonald's, and we came over here and just encountered this park, which we didn't expect to see. On our way west, or walking east across the river, to see some of these large buildings and what lays at the foot of this pointed building, which is a large indoor shopping center. Looking for a cool place on a warm day. This statue, we'll get around to the front of it here. It sure looks like Mao from the front. And Nuni says the Chinese letters don't indicate it's Mao. it's a Mao-like stance, isn't it? If you pan in on his head, not necessarily the face. Oh, okay, Nuni's got the story. What's the story?
He's like a
Cheng-Yi?
Cheng-Yi,
Cheng-Yi.
like a president, that kind of thing.
Turns out he was a great general during the Communist Revolution. And with the revolution won in 1949, he became the mayor of Shanghai for 10 years. In the 15 years succeeding that, he was the foreign minister for China.
So there's the park with Cheng-Yi. Nanjing Road. Nanjing Road is the one that intersects this road that's running parallel here. But if we just go across the street, it's that.
This is the most modern section of Shanghai, east of the Huangpu River. In 1991 or so, when Deng Xiaoping finally declared that Shanghai was going to be part of the economic revolution in China, this side of the city was pretty much leveled and built again from scratch. So all that you're seeing here was built from 1991 and after, 25 years or younger, each one of these buildings.
Yeah, we'll get over there.
That's Shanghai. Did you tell them? Did you tell the picture?
Oh, the picture knows. Yeah.
Shanghai what?
I don't know what to call it. I mean, it's the river, and it's the developed area, the most developed area by the river, but I don't know whether to call it Shanghai downtown or what kind of a name the local people put on it. Same evening, September 29th, about 6 o'clock. It actually got dark about it. It's about 6:30 now. It got dark about 6 o'clock. We're going to take a cruise down the river, and we just got onto the cruise boat. And that's the same opposite side of the river, the east side of the river, across from us that we were photographing earlier today. There it is at night.
This one is a beach.
It's overlooking the river and some buildings on the west side, the side that we're on.
The old style one.
It's called a paddle boat. It's an old-style paddle boat, the one like you see on the Mississippi River. That's cool. It's all right.
Okay, come out.
Really?
Wanna see that? Right?
Tallest building by far on that side. Still in progress. There's cranes up on top of it. Yellow. This is the Riverside Hotel between the two globes. The boat is moving, but the paddles are not, so we kind of got fooled into thinking this was a paddle boat. We're moving along the river cruise. So again, that's the east side, and we're going to reach tomorrow by subway, not by river cruise tomorrow. And
So
there's
this-
the river, and
so
here's
this-
the west side.
So this point is, this tower is like a restaurant on the top, I can tell.
West side. Should be Wells Fargo, huh, Nita? SH for Shanghai. Shangri-La Hotel from the other side. East side. River. West side. West side, that's the west side. It's a boat.
These appear to be more residential buildings down here, right in front of the river, in front of the east side of the river. And as we pan back a little bit, then you get into the downtown and the skyscrapers, but a lot of residential buildings before we got back to these huge office buildings. This again is that behemoth office building that's really still in progress with construction cranes atop it. And you can see many floors unfinished into the very high atmosphere. What a huge building. Obviously the tallest building in Shanghai when it's done. It must rank among the tallest in the world when completed.
Shanghai Right now, you cannot see the curve. You have to go all the way to see the curve.
You can actually see the curve from here.
Really?
Yeah. If you look closely enough. There's two buildings, one with its back to us, one with its face to us. The faces of those two buildings curve in towards each other. The one.
They said they have how many buildings, all buildings.
What we're mumbling about here is that these two buildings are kind of twins facing one another, but the faces of the building that point toward one another are curved.
Wow.
鱼眼嘎子就鱼眼嘎子那里很热闹的，鱼眼嘎子，外滩去了吧？外滩，外滩去了。对呀，走外滩一直走到头就到了。也不是很远，走外滩走到头就到了，不是很远。
什么叫什么？
鱼园，鱼园。 好看的呀，芋圆，知道吧？你会看吗？这是外滩，这是外滩，这是芋圆。
哎，你们这里我从40多年前他们说你们有个公园，说古历史，中国人不可以进入，外国人可以进入。
那不就是黄埔公园吗？黄埔公园在外滩。对呀，就是以前就是外国人建的嘛。
啊，外国人建的，我们中国人不会进去。
对，就是
中国人不可以进去，外国人狗会。
对了，就是外滩那个黄埔公园，黄埔公园外滩的。
这地方现在都扒掉了。
扒掉了。
对。
This is Nanjing East. Nuni just bought her Louis Vuitton purse here in the discount area. And now, I'm sorry, this is Nanjing West. A lot of shops. Nanjing East has a lot of shops too. We're on our way back to the subway. Now we are in the east side. Just got off the subway to the east side. So that's what that tallest building looks like from here underneath it.
The Chinese national anthem playing while the Oriental Pearl Tower is being lit. By the way, that tower serves a practical purpose. It is a huge radio and TV antenna.
Walker is mean what? It means anthem, right?
Yeah,
Chinese.
that was the national Chinese anthem, huh?
Hope Walker. Here, take it here. Oh, I have McDonald's. We'll get McDonald's next. My dinner taken care of.
This building's great. These are just columns. Every floor has Romanesque type columns. Every floor.
All these building and street scene shots are being taken not from the street level really, but from this raised sidewalk that stands over this very busy intersection here on the east side of the river.
Apples here.
Sparkle jewelry. Like us. Los Angeles is what? Angel, right?
Yes.
Yes. Hong Kong is east of Los Angeles. Hong Kong is East Asia, like the Chinese people. I don't know how to get down there. I'm inside of Washington.
October 1st, Nuni's birthday. Here's a look at the Pearl Tower in the daytime.
The pointed one almost pointing to the sky.
Yes.
Here we are on street level, looking up at that raised sidewalk that kind of surrounds the intersection. Give you an idea of what it takes to get up these escalators to that raised sidewalk area on October 1st, the national holiday.
And also today's my birthday. Can I take a picture here for me? Today is my birthday, 1st October, and also Chinese
Independence Day.
I never thought about that. I came to China exactly made the independence. 19 is 65 years.
This is the Regal Shanghai East Asian Hotel, where we're staying in Shanghai.
We stay in a room 911.
In room 911. We got here last night the 28th, so now it's Monday the 29th. This hotel is situated inside this gigantic stadium. We don't know what the schedule is like in the stadium yet, or what events are held there. Maybe soccer or whatever. We'll try to get some film later of all the sporting facilities that are around here. There's a fitness center and a swimming center. Looks pretty good. Some freeways nearby, some little shops nearby. This is the outdoor stadium. This little building here is a convention hall, but here's the indoor stadium, very near there. I suppose if they had some basketball or something going on, it'd be in there. We just don't know what the separation of events is between the indoor and the outdoor. We don't know this building yet in the background. It's a beauty though. Oh, it is a Hua Ting Hotel. Here are the gardens at the hotel. The Regal Shanghai East Asia Hotel, where we're staying at 6 in the morning. It's October 2nd. That's how the population lives behind us. The approach to the Regal Shanghai, 6 in the morning. Fitness center. Looks a little nicer from the outside than it really is on the inside. We've used it and it'll pass, it's okay. Got a bench, got some free weights. Shanghai, September 30th. This is the nightly approach back to the hotel. It's late, maybe a little bit after 11. We're on our way to room 911.
I don't know how's the movie coming out.
You don't know.
9樓9 floor. Going up.
You have the card, babe.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have to dig my purse. I just don't want to dig.
You have the card. You have my card now.
No, I put it back.
Oh, of course you did. This is Shanghai. September 30th. So if you're a vegetarian, sometimes it's hard to understand what's on the menu. And even if you have Nuni to tell you what is on the menu, there's not any vegetarian dishes really. But if you can just get them to cook up some cabbage and bean sprouts, you've got a meal. I've gone through 3 plates of this already. Each plate costs about 82 cents. Pretty darn good. Just cooked real lightly, some kind of very, very light touch of oil. Nice and moist. Tastes great, especially when you haven't eaten in 3 days.
These juices were a large part of survival in Shanghai. Here's a 300 milliliter, about $1, 300 milliliter bottle of either orange, carrot, or grape. Up above, the 900 milliliter version costs exactly 3 times as much. No price break, just a bigger bottle. Fond memories, good stuff. Apple juice up there too, I guess. We found this Citroën car showroom along West Nanjing Road. Very expensive neighborhood to have a car showroom. Showing off a couple concept cars. This gold one is a concept car. You'll see another purple styled, almost a sleek station wagon-esque kind of a car. That's supposedly a concept car. Citroën DS5 in this case. I don't know how much of a concept the DS5 really is. This one is supposedly released according to the internet, but The young lady who showed us around the showroom a little bit said that this and the purple one you're about to see were both concepts, and that she wasn't sure whether gas or electric engines would eventually be in those cars once released. Anyway, this one's a beauty, and you'll see the roof of each of these cars is translucent. You know, it's a total moonroof configuration. They paid attention to putting appropriate looking wheels on these cars too. You'll see when we scoot around front here for a view into the interior. Nice job on configuring seats that look comfortable and sporty at the same time. Really good job on the interior in these cars.
Just happen to have an old Citroen in the showroom. You see the shifter in front of the steering wheel and the radio on the floor.
Now this one for certain is a concept car. Great color to attract attention. And of course it's right in the showroom window. Hope they do something with that roof line eventually. That needs a little bit of a change, but it is one sleek, sporty looking little car. Maybe not so little, it probably seats 5 real comfortably.
Looks like a manual shifter, but it's not.
We're no longer at the concept car. This is a white DS5 out in the showroom. All these cars in the showroom, except for the vintage Citroen, are built in China, some for consumption by the Chinese market, some exported to Europe.
That's cool. Squared off steering wheel on the bottom.
I like that car. One day I'm gonna buy Chinese made car.
This particular car, you like the style of it?
The inside.
Yeah, the inside of it's pretty comfortable. The seats are pretty darn awesome. Look at these controls here. Windows. Gas tank. Parking brake. Wow, a lot of space. This is very good. The storage goes underneath here. So you open up the storage bin. You have this storage you can see, but it goes all the way underneath this console up top. Of course, the navigation system and all that. Oh, and look at this. Controls up here, up top, like an airplane. You control the top and probably other things. In today's world, with a gas engine, I'm just thinking they would try to put it out there for around $50,000. Maybe they're just making it for the Chinese market, who knows? You have to like that they're giving some thought to the wheel designs. 2 or 3?
Nuni had gotten some input from the salesperson that the list price for that white DS5 was 250,000 yuan, about $42,000.
I like the line. That one line is one person. That line and this line are the same. They like dragon eyes. Right? This like see? They have
That's nice.
They have a white thing around. See? The silver thing.
I see. Yeah, pretty nice.
See, this eye like a
Really
dragon
like the
eye.
headlights.
Dragon eye.
Too narrow?
Yeah, like squinting dragon eyes. I like the eyes.
Subway entrance. There's the logo. Very much walking distance from our hotel.
But they're not bad. They don't want me to walk down. They don't give me any.
Maybe on the other side they do if you want to investigate.
No.
You want to know better, yeah? We're just saying there's no escalator down, only escalator up. Day before Independence Day. Watch this thing go.
It's called Now they have dogs.
Drug sniffing, explosive sniffing dogs. Here's the thing about streets in Shanghai. You see that gate fence separating one side of the street from another? So when you want to cross the street, they really enforce that you don't cross the street except at these crosswalks. And they're pretty few and far between. There's people that, I haven't seen anybody jump the gates yet, the fences yet, but when you have an opportunity to walk around something, or there's an opening in the gate, even if there's not a crosswalk, of course that happens. We did it last night right in front of the police station, and when we came back this morning, there were people doing it in front of the police station as well.
You can stay here.
这很妙吗？
是，就是这么拍的。啊。
你拍个。留在第一天人家说比较好，第二天就稍微差一点，再往后要差。
西湖。Sea is south, right?
一些人
Who
跟
is
什么人像对干部似的类似，给你收钱，给你去安排住宿。
是享受了福利了，所以农民呢就把家里最好的一样东西送给苏东坡，抬到他家去。什么东西知道吗？猪，2头猪。
2头猪啊！
哦，不要笑啊！说实在话，在以前过年吃一顿猪肉就不错了，有的连猪肉都吃不上，穷苦人家村里面就2头猪，都给苏东坡抬家里去了。苏东山虽然不高，但是非常的有名。苏东坡，哎，不是苏东坡讲错了啊，曾经的皇帝康熙、乾隆皇帝到过这边，
康熙，
皇帝
康熙
把自己叫什么？叫孤家寡人，对不对？所以这座山取名就叫孤山，啊，取名就叫孤山。孤山不孤也是杭州的3怪之一。我们看一下孤山并有3溪，第一溪我们下午要去的是西溪湿地，第2溪是西湖，第3溪就是这个西坡肉48，不是一盘，是一块，它是一块一块的啊。西湖醋鱼398。所以我们杭州人要把它叫做百元菜馆，一个一流的环境，一流的服务，一流的味道，还有超一流的价格。啊，味道呢当然是好的。打个比方，他端上来那个东坡肉这么大巴，啊，童子鸡是外面包泥巴的，这个泥巴不是烂泥。
This is just part of the walk in the park on the tour of Hangzhou. Hangzhou. We won't see it, but there's a huge Shangri-La hotel built around here that we passed a while back. Really big. Built into the greenery. Yeah, along the lake.
Along the Sea湖.
Seahu.
他那个原来的那个。
The Hangzhou trip didn't last long, and we had traveled some distance by bus from Shanghai just to get there. So to make up for the lack of time used, the tour guide took us to this area that is used now for Chinese filmmaking and obviously tourism. It had once been the site of a holiday resort area for Communist Party leaders. But when the party decided to represent themselves as less aloof, those leaders were asked to leave, and it was repatriated to the people. Going back further in time, hundreds of years, powerful prime ministers who served directly under the emperor had this as their vacation home.
方觉得这里非常的漂亮，想在这里建自己的行宫。后来呢，因为国力问题，那时候没钱，然后他就只能在凤凰山路下建了自己的行宫。这里的话，他还在这里有块地方呢，他喝茶休憩过，所以在这里搭了一个小棚子。后来明代成化年间呢，有一位大官叫做弘忠，弘忠呢将这里的小亭子改建成自己的家庙。
Yeah. Can we go past to this? Go
I
to
think
the other
so.
side.
This is the same location as that
Prime Minister's
slow
house.
river ride we were on. Prime Minister's home for one or another of the emperors. I guess maybe many prime ministers lived here.
You know, you think about it. We don't have time. Why take you go to tea press? You know, people complain about it. Pay for them 260 yuan. Come here to the film.
That's a kind of a point, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Costs more than the rest of the whole tour to come here for 10 minutes or half an hour. But it was worth it. It's nice.
See, all the buildings here are all empty. They won't let people live here.
Yeah, the idea is our river tour guide said that communist leaders used to live here when it was private property, and when this all became public government-owned land, the Communist Party asked the communist occupants to leave. Persimmons.
Chiao, 5-9 bridge. 5 and 9.
5 and 9. Lucky numbers, maybe.
We took the option to have the tour bus drop us off at Public Square after the day trip, just to have a look around at what used to be the very center of Shanghai. It is now still a very active place. A beautiful park there. Several large public buildings. All those public buildings had military-looking guards out front. They might have been police, but they sure looked military to me. Of course, there's a commercial sector here. Just took our time looking around that area, Public Square, and also there's a main subway connection from Public Square to wherever you want to go in Shanghai. So we were about to retire for the evening, and we'd be flying away the next day to Bangkok. Beautiful greenery there in the park. Thank you, Nuni. It was a beautiful place to be for quite a while, China. Thanks for showing it to me. And we'll go back next year and take another look. My beautiful, beautiful, generous world traveler. Thank you.